Hi friends, it's me, Titi. Today we are going to make green decorated sugar cookies for St. Patrick's Day. Ooh, wow, those look really cool. Before we get started, remember that Titi wants you to be extra safe, so make sure you have a grown-up there with you to help out. Let's preheat our oven to 375 degrees and then gather our ingredients. For this recipe, you will need flour, salt, baking powder, butter, yum yum, vanilla extract, an egg, and some sugar. You can't have cookies without sugar, can you? The first thing we need to do is get out a big old bowl like this guy here. Hello, big bowl. And add some flour. To be precise, we need 3 cups of flour. 1, 2, 3. So I've got my 1 cup measuring cup. I've got my knife for flattening out the top. And here we go. All right. Next up, we are going to add 3/4 teaspoons of baking powder. This is what helps make our cookies nice and fluffy. I've got my baking powder here. And I'll take my 1/4 teaspoon, measure, and I'll do 3 scoops. There's a lot of 3s in this recipe, huh? 1, 2, 3. Done with our baking powder. Now you'll need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I've got my 1/2 teaspoon measure right here. And I just need 1 scoop. There you go. Now that's my dry ingredients. So the next thing I want to do is pick up my whisk, mix it all up so everything gets blended together. Okay, all mixed. Now I'm gonna put the bowl to the side and come over here. Look at that, I've got another big bowl. This one's for my wet ingredients. You always have to start by keeping the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients separate. Then at the end, we'll mix them together and they'll become friends. I need 1 cup of sugar. Just like that, 1 cup here. And into the big bowl it goes. Now it's time to add our butter. I have 2 sticks, which is equal to 1 cup of unsalted butter. It squishes when you touch it, nice and soft, but it's not melted. We don't want to use melted butter. I'm gonna take my spoon and dump it in the bowl. Keep on mixing until the sugar disappears into the butter. And the sugar's been all mixed in. So I think we're ready to continue. What do you think? So to our mixture, I'm going to add 1 large egg. And I need some vanilla extract. That's how we get the vanilla taste for our vanilla sugar cookies. So I'm gonna put 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 1, 2. It's gonna get a little bit goopier now because of our egg, which made it wetter. We just wanna mix it all up until you don't see little pieces of egg. Okay, this is mixed up very nicely. The last thing we need to do is add our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. So first I'm gonna add just about half to make it easier to mix it in. You don't have to measure, you can just dump it in. That's about half. I'll give it a quick stir. If you dump it in all at once, sometimes it's hard to mix it in together. So that's why we do it in batches. Okay, I think it's time to add in the other half of our flour mix. mixture. Here we go. Just like that. And, oops, I got flour on my fingers. It's impossible to bake without getting dirty. Now it's time to mix it up. Now your dough is going to get nice and thick. If it looks a little crumbly, that's okay. Don't worry, it will come together soon. Okay, this is looking good. This is my favorite part. You get to go in with your fingers. You want to smush it together until it forms one big ball. Now, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna dump it out onto the table. Just like that. Okay, just squish all the little pieces together. Like that. Now, before we can roll this out and cut it into pieces, we need to put it in the refrigerator for a little bit. And to make that easier, we're gonna break this into 3 pieces. They don't have to be exactly the same size. Just use your eyeballs and guess. About 3 pieces, just like that. And now I've got 3 Ziploc bags. And I'm just gonna seal them up. Now these little dough balls need to hang out in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Bye-bye, little dough balls. See you guys in 30 minutes. All right, friends, it's been 30 minutes. Let's check on our cookie batter. Looking good. It's starting to firm up, but it's not too hard yet. Now we get to roll our cookies out and cut shapes. So before you put it on the countertop, let's cover the surface with a little bit of flour. Just plain flour. Again, we get to have fun getting our kitchen all dirty. There we go, and then just, spread it around a little bit. Now I'm gonna take my first ball of dough, put it on the countertop, and I've got my rolling pin here. I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on my rolling pin to make sure that the rolling pin doesn't get stuck to the cookies. Now I'm just going to roll it out carefully using a back and forth motion like this. And we want to keep rolling up and down and also side to side to make our cookie dough spread out evenly. Maybe about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. That looks great. Now it's time to cut out our cookies. I've also made sure that I have 2 pans, just regular metal baking pans, and I line them with parchment paper. So I've got my pans right there. I've got my dough ready to go. Now it's time to cut them out. If you have cookie cutters, feel free to use them. If you don't, be creative. Find round things in your kitchen that will work just the same as a cookie cutter. Here, I have the lid of a jar, and I'm going to use this as my cookie cutter today. Press it into the dough and make a little circle. Perfect. Now, I'm going to carefully lift the cookies up, just like that, and put them on my baking pan. I'm gonna lift this one up and do the same thing. Now, you're gonna be left with weird shaped scraps of dough, and that's okay. We're gonna roll that out one more time. Make it so that it's nice and flat. And cut out some shapes. That looks good. Alrighty, we have a little bit of batter left here, but instead of rolling it out, I'm gonna go back to my fridge and I'm gonna take out another ball of dough and repeat the same exact process again. And we're just about done here. Putting the last cookies on the tray. And these guys are ready to go in the oven. Remember to be extra careful when dealing with the oven. Now these guys are going to bake for about 12 to 15 minutes until they turn nice and golden brown at the edges. Remember that oven temperatures can vary, so just be sure to make sure your cookies are done before you take them out. It looks like our cookies are done. That's 15 minutes. Time to get my hot pads. Remember, hot pads, oven mitts, anything to protect your hands when you're opening the oven. And let's see how they turned out. Very nice. Now we're gonna let these cool in the pan for about 5 minutes. And then we're gonna move them onto this here snazzy cooling rack. All right, friends, it's been 5 minutes. Time to move our cookies from the pan to the cooling rack. So let's do it. I'm gonna use a spatula. You can use any type of utensil you want. Be careful of the pan because it might still be hot. And the parchment paper helps you move them off really easily. And there we go. What a nice set of cookies we just made. But we're not done yet. Let's make some frosting. Come on. For this, you're going to need 3 cups of powdered sugar, 3 tablespoons of milk, vanilla extract, and corn syrup. Oh, and I forgot to mention green food coloring because after all, we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day, so we have to make it green, and we have to have fun stuff to decorate with like these colorful sprinkles. I've got some gold and white ones here, and some nice fun green sprinkles. That'll be the best part. Let's get started. I've got my 3 cups of powdered sugar already measured here in this nice big bowl. And now I'm going to take my 3 tablespoons of milk and dump it right in, just like that. Now I'll take my whisk and I'll mix it up. But you can see it's already starting to thicken up. Alrighty guys, next up, we're going to take our corn syrup and we're going to add 2 tablespoons. But I'm gonna keep this at hand because if it's too thick, we might need to add even more corn syrup. So we'll start with 2 tablespoons. It's so goopy. Time to mix it again. I think I'm gonna switch to a spoon. Very good. We just need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now let's mix this up and see how it's looking. This is nice and goopy right now, but if we keep mixing, it'll get a little bit thinner and easier to work with. Alrighty, our icing is coming together, but I think it needs to be a little more green than it is right now. So that's why I have my green food coloring, and I'm gonna add a few drops. Now with food coloring, it's very important to add a little bit at a time because you can always add more, but you can't take it out if you added too much. How about 5 drops? And we'll see how that looks. What do you guys think? More food coloring? Let's do it. I like this. This is much better. I am going to put this icing in just a little bit smaller bowl to make it easier to dip my cookies. We are ready to decorate! I'm gonna clear some space. But we need our frosting and we need our fancy sprinkles. And don't forget, we also need our cookies. So this part can get a little messy. So here's a tip that will make cleaning up easier. Take your parchment paper, the ones that you baked your cookies on. It's okay if they have little greasy cookie spots, that's no problem. Take both pieces and put them underneath your cooling rack, just like this. Now let's dip our cookies. There's a few ways you can go about this. I like to just take the cookie and dip it halfway into the frosting. It's nice and easy and it makes a really cool two-toned effect. Whoa, pretty cool, huh? And then place your cookie back on the cooling rack, just like that. And now's the time to put some sprinkles on it. If you let it sit too long, the icing will get hard and the sprinkles won't stick. We don't want that. This cookie, I'm gonna put some green sprinkles on. Check it out. And there we go. That cookie is decorated. Let's do another one. And what do you think? How about some gold and white pearl sprinkles? Yeah? Okay, let's do it. That cookie's pretty dressed up. And now you know how it's done. Let's do the rest of these cookies. Oops. Alrighty, one more to go. Wipe off the extras. I think these turned out great. Wow. Well, that was fun. Doesn't this look fantastic? I love this. They turned out so great. I hope you guys had a fun time watching too, and I can't wait for you to try this recipe and share it with your family and friends. All right, I think it's time for my most favorite part. Let's dig in. I have to start in the middle, of course. Let's see how this tastes. That's extra good. All right, well, looks like we're done here for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I had a really fun time and I hope you did too. See you again soon, and happy creating!